Hello, 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 hello. I hope you are doing well on this turbulent planet called Earth. Wherever you are, I hope you are having a sensational day, evening, or night, wherever you're located on this glorious planet. This is part 2 of my discovery using the UV map. Now, for this little project, I want to use UV mapping to make a cereal box of the beloved cartoon character Homer Simpson. I checked on the internet and he had a cereal box. I'm going to be making that. But before I get into that, let me go into YouTube UV editing. I don't need nothing fancy. I want to talk about the most important part of UV editing. You know, over here, this is basically your UV, where I have that check mark at. That's your UV area. Over here, you know, that's the regular old Blender viewport. The bulk of your work will be done inside of this UV editor. That's where it's at. But before you even think of using a UV editor, you have to learn about something called seams. When I learned about UV editing a couple years ago, seams threw me off. Now, this box is giving you its default UV shape. It's spread out into six pieces. Piece 1, piece 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. There's six little squares there because your particular mesh, which is in this case cube, has 6 sides. But before I go into my little cereal box, like I said, in order to become good with the UV editor, you must master seams. You have to. And seams is basically an art form. The more you do it, the better you'll get at it. So I suggest you just make up some shapes and blend it, make up any shape, and see if you can break it up into meaningful UV parts. And I mean meaningful. And I'm gonna give you an example of what I mean by meaningful. Now, to use the UV, seams, you have to be in edge mode. You either hit the number 2, or you can click on this edge icon. I want to show you what I mean by meaningful UV maps. Now, the main key for UV map is U. Then I'm going to go to mark seam. I'm going to hit A to highlight it. Then I'm going to hit U to unwrap it. Now look over here. You see it's a line. That is an unmeaningful. It has no benefits to you whatsoever. Unwrapped UV. So, like I said, UV editing is an art form. It's art. The more you do it, the better you and I will become at manipulating them. So, let me dip into the world of seams. And you see right here, I'm going to hit Z a couple times. Alright, you see my edges are black. I'm going to make a seam. Now, I want to put it back to its default shape. And you see over here with my UV map, it has those little T's. That's the default shape that Blender give you for a cube. For Harold the Cube. Alright, let me erase this stuff. Now, I wish they would have had the seams on the cube, but I understand they want to make some things easy for the person. So, before I go any further, I want to do seams, and I'm going to show you something that I never saw a person do on any video when it was talking about these using seams. Alright, I'm going to click on this edge, and that edge. Then I'm going to click on this side, and here. Then I rotate it around here. Then I'm going to choose U, mark seam. I'm going to hit A, and you see it's back those are the seams for that T-shape UV unwrap. But now I'm gonna do something that I never saw no one do. This is what you have to remember about a seam. A seam is basically a scissors, because your shape is being cut up. When you come over here to this window over here, where I got the check at, your shape has been cut up to many other little boxes and segments and what have you. So I'm gonna do something that I never saw before done. Let me do it again. I'm gonna put my seams back on here. I have it in edge mode. Click this side, this side, that side, this side, this side, here, and here. Hit U, mark seam, highlight it all, so it's back. That's the way I want it. Now, here's the part I never saw. Like I said, you almost got to visualize what you're doing. I'm going to show you that when I open this box up, it should give me that same T shape. So I click on this line. I'm going to hit V. V is the cut key. V. Then I'm going to grab it a little bit. V. I'll grab it just a little bit. And I'm going to select it. Remember, you cutting on the red lines. So imagine that. You cutting on the red lines. I'm cutting on it with my scissors. Oops. V. Open it just a little. I'm going to flatten them out some more. Make it as flat as possible. All of them. Flat as humanly possible. Open them all up. I'm going to hit V here too. Wherever there's a red line, you hit V. And now the top part, I'm going to hit V. I'm just going to grab this and bring it down. See if I can. Grab, bring it down. And I'm going to grab this part. I'm going to grab this whole thing. G. And connect it. And you see right here. Now, I know it's not going to be perfect, but I just want to give you an idea. You see, I basically have that same T shape. I got my T shape right there. That's what the seams does. It's basically cutting all them little boxes, and I made it just like this shape. So I said it's an art form. An art form. Now, I can go back to my cereal box. Let's go back to my file. Let me see, open recent. Home of cereal box. I don't want to save this. Okay, I'm back. Now, remember, in part 1, I was working on this. Part 2, I wanted to explain exactly what's going on with those seams in UV editing. Now, back to part 2. All my faces should correspond. It's going to be my front, but it don't matter. Front or the back of the box. Here's the other side of the box. This definitely will be my top of the box, right? You see over here in the UV map. And here are my sides. Side 1, side 2, and side 3. So when you make your UV map, especially if it's a block shape, you got to try to visualize where you want everything at. Especially if it's made of just blocks. Now, if it's an arm, well, you can tell an arm how arm going to look when I cut it. All right, so now I want to save this. You go to UV. You go all the way down to see export UV layout. So once more, I click on UV. I go all the way down till I see the word export UV layout, and I give it a name. I want to make sure it's in my correct folder. I want to put it in my pictures folder. pictures. I'm going to call it Homer Serial UV Map. Okay, save. I'm going to continue this with part 3. If you enjoyed this video of me, basically, all I did with this video was basically go over what do seams mean. Seams just mean it's basically taking the scissors and you cutting those red, orange, whatever color line blender decide to give it to you. That's what seams are. You cutting those lines. You all saw me when I cut the lines. I try to open the shape to show you that it was that, in fact, that T shape that was in the UV map. If you enjoyed it, give me a thumbs up. If you have any comments to add to my knowledge or other people's knowledge, I probably use Blender and how to use UV map. Something that I probably did wrong because I only learned a couple days ago about the UV map. Let me know. Until the next time, Blender family, Blender's users, peace.